Go to Community and click Join Game. Stay engaged and see how you rank on the live leaderboard. Answer polls, ask questions, submit feedback, and more. Only 100 winners with the highest scores will win each month. What are you waiting for? Click Join Game now. Terms and conditions apply.
Think you're driven enough to succeed? Win a brand new Tesla Model 3 in just 3 easy steps. Open a CGS-CIMB trading account and start trading your way to awesome prizes. Participants can trade any of our 6 products to earn tickets. The more you trade, the better your chances. Earn as many tickets as possible from July to December to win the latest and greatest from Apple and be eligible for our grand prize, a Tesla Model 3. What's more, we've also lined up a series of webinars throughout the campaign period to help you become a savvier investor. Don't miss out on these free sessions. Register and level up your trading play. Open a CGS-CIMB account and start trading today.
Want to win $50 Takashimaya vouchers when you learn from our free investing and trading webinars? You can simply register for our webinars, log in to the Attendee Hub, go to Community and click Join Game. Stay engaged and see how you rank on the live leaderboard. Answer polls, ask questions, submit feedback, and more. Only 100 winners with the highest scores will win each month. What are you waiting for? Click Join Game now. Terms and conditions apply.
Think you're driven enough to succeed? Win a brand new Tesla Model 3 in just 3 easy steps. Open a CGS-CIMB trading account and start trading your way to awesome prizes. Participants can trade any of our 6 products to earn tickets. The more you trade, the better your chances. Earn as many tickets as possible from July to December to win the latest and greatest from Apple and be eligible for our grand prize, a Tesla Model 3. What's more, we've also lined up a series of webinars throughout the campaign period to help you become a savvier investor. Don't miss out on these free sessions. Register and level up your trading play. Open a CGS-CIMB account and start trading today.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. Today's webinar will be on introduction to CFDs, mainly on equities and indices. So just a brief introduction. My name is Jack, and together with me today is Joon. We are both from the CFD team.
Yep. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, my name is Joon, and I'm a team member of CFD team, much like Jack. I hope you guys are doing well. All right. So shortly, Jack will go over what a CFD is, why you should trade CFDs, and also why you should trade with CGS-CIMB. Right. He will also go over some of these points in further depth, such as the expenses of trading CFD and other factors to keep in mind. Meanwhile, once you finish, I will hop in and go through with you guys what is CFD indices and also give you all a platform review. Hopefully, at the end of this session, you will have gained additional knowledge about CFD that will benefit your trading adventures. Right. Without further ado, I will hand it back to Jack and see you guys later.
Okay, thank you, June. All right, so we will start with this webinar, right? So if you guys have any questions, right, feel free to type it out in a Q&A session, the box as well. All right. Okay, so this is the disclaimer. And okay, so what is CFD? So CFD, right, in a long form is called contract for difference. All right, so it's an agreement between two parties to exchange the difference between the opening price and closing price of a contract. So the difference in value of the opening and closing price is settled in cash. All right, so it actually allows you to take advantage of the asset's price movement without physical ownership. So on CFD, on our CGS-CIMB platform, you can trade different instruments such as equities, index, FX commodities, futures, and bonds as well. Okay. So there are many benefits for CFD. So these are the main 5 benefits. So CFD is actually a flexible alternative to traditional trading. So it gives you actually a greater degree of leverage. So one of the main points is leverage. And the other one is the flexibility to go long or short. Okay. The next one is diversification, and you can hedge it as well. So later on, I will elaborate more on details about these benefits. Okay, and simplicity. All right, so for leverage and diversification, so how you use CFD as an investment tool to do your trades, and of course, the making good opportunity from the market itself. Okay, so what does this mean for you, right? So with a smaller amount, 10% initial margin, you get to purchase more lots of your preferred counter. Or if you are looking for a product that offers a high ROI, return of investment, then leverage will be a right tool for you. Okay, so I'll give you a scenario with a 10 times leverage and a capital outlay of $1,000. So let's say this shares of stock A currently quoting at a price of $10. You intend to buy 1,000 contracts of it using CFD at the ask price of $10, assuming we set this margin for stock A at 10%. So the initial margin you have to put up with will be 10% times $10 times 1,000 contract, which is $1,000. If you were to buy the same shares using normal stocks on cash market, it will be $10 times 1,000 contract, which is $10,000. So you can see the difference here. And okay, so if your portfolio moves in your favor and increase to 11,000 in value, you'll be then gaining $1,000 with just a 1,000 outlay, which essentially equates to a 100% gain, 100% ROI. Right? Without leveraging, right, you have to put up 10,000 upfront and with a 1,000 gain. So you only be getting ROI of 10%. So with leveraging, it also means that instead of having to fork up your initial budget of $10,000, you can now effectively free up this $9,000 and you can use it to diversify your portfolio by investing in other instruments such as equities, bond, index, futures, FX. Okay. So something to take note on leverage as well. Leverage can be a double-edged sword. So if your investment move against your favor, you'll be exposed to heavier losses as well. So as your gains get maximized with leverage, your losses will get maximized too. Okay, so for long and short, there's a flexibility on CFD to go long and go short. You long a counter when the market is bullish. What about when the market is bearish? So CFD allows you to short this counter and benefit from the price difference when underlying assets drop in price. Okay, so how about hedging? So how do you hedge using CFD? CFD can be used as a hedging tool to protect your long-term positions from short-term volatility. Okay, so for example, you currently have a long position of counter A, the physical shares of counter A in your portfolio, which you intend to hold for a long term. However, due to market volatility, you're now expecting this share price to drop in the near future. So in this case, you can then use CFD to short the same counter, and you can actually negate the profit from your short position to your long position of this physical share. So give you an example, like for example, SIA, you have this cash trading account, you have this SIA which you intend to invest or you intend to hold for long term, right? So due to like you can see like current situation during the pandemic when the country goes into lockdown, and you know that you can't travel, you know that this airline industry will the share price will start to drop, but you want to hold these shares for long term. So you can actually use CFD to short this position and then use this profit to offset your loss from your long position. Okay, so what this means for you, you're able to find profit-making opportunities regardless of a bull or bear market. This then prevents you from losing 50% of the opportunities in the market. And you can also find a money-making opportunity regardless of a bullish or bearish market. Okay. So this is a trading example between cash trading and CFD. So I will have a brief run through. You can see the comparison over here with the same capital outlay, the same money, initial margin, which is $100,000. So let's say CFD has a 10% margin. So you can buy up to 100,000 worth of shares. So you can see the difference with leveraging. So you can see commission wise is of course is the full value. And then you can see the ROI over here, the return of investment. If the share price goes up by $1, which turns to $11, you can see your ROI, which is approximately 100%, which includes all the commission. So do take note that CFD commission, right, is inclusive of all market charges, like a stamp duty, exchange fee, etc. So if you hold the position overnight, right, you also have this financing income. So you can see the overall, the cash trading and CFD. Okay. Okay, so in CFD trading, right, there's two costs involved. One is commission and one is financing. All right, so for commission charges, trading CFD is subject to commission charges on opening and closing the trade. Okay, so the commission charge is based on the overall value of the trade, and there is different commission charges on different exchanges. Right, so you can see on the table right here, there's different exchanges, different commission charges. So for example, Singapore is 0.07%, which right now we are having this promotion for 6 months. And at end of October. So for traders, investors who trade CFD in Singapore market, SGX, so your commission will be 0.07% with a minimum of $15. Right? So there's different charges on different market. Okay, so for Hong Kong is 0.33%, US is 3 cents per share or 0.2% with a minimum as well. Right? Okay, so for overnight financing, so financing is actually a fee that you pay or receive to hold a trading position overnight on CFD trades. They have no set expiry date. So when you hold, basically you hold the position overnight, you'll be charged financing. It is an interest payment that you have to cover the cost of the leverage that you use. Okay, so for long position, it's 3.75% plus base rate. For short position, it's 3.75% minus base rate. So how do you calculate overnight financing? Actually, quite simple. So later on, maybe Joon will also show you the table, the commission and financing schedule table that we have. So right now, I'll let you all know how you calculate your financing charges, right? So you take your total contract value times 3.75% plus base rate, divide by 365 days. So whichever, like you use SORA, you use LIBOR, or you use the US overnight financing rate. Okay, so take for example, the base rate is 0.2%. Okay, so you can take your total contract value times approximately 4%, divide by 365 days. So you will get your financing daily. Okay. Okay, so this is our promotion. The commission for SGX market 0.07%. And we also have another campaign, which is a driven campaign. You have a chance to win the Tesla, a car at the end with a grand draw. So every month we'll be having prizes as well, the Apple product. So for more information, you can check out our website. The link is here, or we can share with you later on. Okay, so moving on, there's DMA CFD. So for CFD, contract for difference, there's many in the market. So usually there's two types of CFD, two models basically. So one is DMA, the other one is market maker. Okay, so what is DMA? DMA is called direct market access. So it is actually the electronic facility that allows CFD prices and liquidity to be identical to the underlying stock market. So you actually enter into CFD at the underlying market prices. All right. So which also means that your orders are executed in real time, and you can be assured of true market prices. So your order, you can see over here, DMA versus market maker, right? So DMA, right, your order is directly sent to the exchange, and then it's reflected on your Viewpoint platform, which is the trading platform system, right? Okay, so what are the key benefits of DMA? You have full transparency. So whatever you see on the market, whatever you see on the exchange is exactly the same price that you will see on your platform. So you have full transparency, and your orders are straight through processing. You can be price takers or makers, and you can also participate in pre-opening and pre-closing phase, right? So there's no auto conversion for when you trade in different market. Okay, so what do I mean by no auto conversion, right? So which means that when you trade, let's say because you have you trade in different market like US, SGX, Hong Kong, right? So when you trade in the specific market, your profit and loss will remain in the currency. So let's say today I'm Singaporean, so I fund in Sing dollars, right? So with my CFD trading account, I want to trade in US market. So let's say I fund 10,000 Sing dollars, right? So I want to buy Apple share or Tesla share, right? So I have to pay this amount, which is called the initial margin, which we will take as a deposit or like a collateral, right? So we will take an equivalent amount of, let's say I buy 10 shares of Apple. So let's say 10 shares, Apple shares is 100. So 10% is $10 lah, basically. So $10 of equivalent USD to cover. That means we will take this Sing dollars equivalent of USD to lock it as an initial margin, right? So when you have a profit or loss in that, when you start to close the position, your profit and loss will be in that currency. So which will be in US dollars lah. So it applies to all the markets lah. But some markets you have to take note, because like Malaysia, Indonesia, and Taiwan. So which is because the currency is restricted. So the average price will be settled at the end of the day in US dollars, right? Okay, so this is a table between DMA and market maker. Like you can see for DMA, right, your liquidity is identical to the exchange. You have price transparency, and your orders flow into the underlying market. You have real market liquidity. Okay, so your trades are 100% hedged, and you can participate in pre-opening, pre-closing. All right, so which I explained earlier on. So these are the benefits lah between DMA and market maker. This is the difference. All right. So why CGS-CIMB, right? We are also the largest DMA CFD provider with over 17,000 over-counters as of 12 March 2021. We have much more right now. Okay, so these are the DMA CFD. You have flexibility, transparency, and accountability. Okay, and these are the awards that we won as well. And okay, so this is basically on an equity side. So I'll pass it on to Joon to elaborate more on indices and our Viewpoint platform. All right. Over to you, Joon.
Thanks. All right. Yeah. Thanks, Jack, for your insightful sharings. Yeah. So next, I'll be sharing with you guys on some platforms. Later on, I will show you guys roughly how our platform works. It's very user friendly, right? Viewpoint is a comprehensive CFD trading platform of ours. Then I will also show you guys how CFD indices works, right? So basically, to summarize what Jack was sharing with you guys just now is CFD is basically a tool for you to trade on different instruments such as equities, indices, index, bond, FX, and etc. Right? It's not a product, it's a tool. Meaning, by using CFD, you have the features of leverage. You can actually trade more than the amount that you put in. As you can see under this slide, one of the key features is the power of leverage. You can actually have up to 10 times leverage on CFD, right? And also you can actually short, right? Short means you can actually sell first and then buy back later. If you think the price is going to fall, you can actually profit from the fall. And also, okay, needless to say, we are the largest DMA CFD provider. All right, as explained by Jack, DMA is actually a direct market access where you actually participate directly on the exchange, meaning you won't be charged extra spread on your trading bid and ask. And also we won't intervene your order, right? I know many provider out there are actually market makers, right? You can actually tell that when you compare the bid and ask, us with theirs, all right? And also, things like that. So yeah, Jack, maybe you can show them the next slide. Yeah, next one. Okay, so okay, Ken, thanks. So how does cash index CFD trading works? All right. So cash index CFD allow you to trade the world leading indices. For example, like S&P 500, Dow Jones, Hang Seng, and etc. And also the price of cash index CFD is directly related to the underlying index and is derived by adjusting the future price by fair value to account for interest and dividend. So whatever you are trading on the CFD index is basically derived from the futures market. Therefore, the trading hours could be very long, longer than the normal trading hour for the underlying exchange. And you can also take long or short view of the market and potentially profit from a move in either direction. Meaning today, if you think S&P is going to go up, you can actually long S&P 500 cash index, and every 1 point is equivalent to $1 gain, right? If let's say you long, and also if you think that the Federal Reserve is going to increase interest rate, right? Say now they actually discussing on whether they want to taper stimulus package. The market might react negatively on that. And if you think the market going to fall, you can actually take a short bill, right? And you can profit from that. Using index CFD to short the market is also in one trade maybe a great way to hedge your equity portfolio in times of doubt. Yeah, it's a hedge instrument as well. if you are holding, a portfolio of shares and you are uncertain about the next direction of the market, you can actually do the opposite. Say you have bought a lot of US counter in your portfolio and you do not want to sell it. You can actually short the S&P or Dow Jones index. And if let's say the market went the another way, and you can at least profit from your short in index, and yeah, to cover back the losses that you have in your portfolio, right? You can also trade the world global markets on commission free, meaning we do not charge you any commission for buy or sell, right? Yep, and you can actually hedge it at your fingertips, right? Margin rates start from as low as 5% for major indices, right? Meaning you will have a higher leverage than equity. It's actually up to 20 times leverage on CFD index. So yeah, next, Jack. Yeah. So the advantages of cash index CFD, right? First is no commission cost. As I mentioned earlier, we do not charge any commission when you buy or sell cash index, and it's cash settled and non-expiring. That means you don't need to worry about rolling over your contract like futures. Sometimes when it's approaching deadline, expired, you have to roll over to another month. But for cash index, it's auto rolling, so you don't need to worry about that. And the minimum trade size of as low as one index, right? Meaning you can have one unit, without exposing yourself to bigger amount, right? If you do not like to expose yourself to big exposure. Flexibility to speculate or hedge existing equity portfolio against macro market events. Yeah, it's the same that I mentioned earlier. If you think that the market would go in what direction, then you can actually long or short by using cash index, right? Next, I will show you how to okay, before I go to the platform, let me show you how some of these cash index CFD calculation. Jack, maybe I show my screen. 1 second, let me show my screens. Okay, in the meantime, if you guys have any question, please post it, right? And then we will answer you guys accordingly. Okay, yeah, Jack, can you see my screen?
Yep, I can.
Okay, thanks. So, okay, so this is the example on how to calculate your cash index position. For example, okay, US 30 is Dow Jones Index. Let's say the bid and ask is 18,400 against 18,402, right? So as you can see, the spread is 2 index points, right? For example, if you believe, right, you are a trader and you believe US Dow Jones will appreciate, right? You buy 10 units of Dow Jones cash index at 18,402. Okay, so if you times with 10 with the price, you will get the notional value, trade value. Okay, the required initial margin, if you trade on CFD, is only 5%. Okay, meaning in order to have 184,000 US dollar exposure, you just need to have 9,200 ready in your CFD account, and that 9,200 will be deducted away from your free equity, right? The fund that you deposit, and we will lock it in initial margin, and the commission is 0. We don't charge you any commission. And say the price went up because you long, right? So the price went up and you managed to close the position at 18,409. So basically you earn like 7 points. 7 points equivalent to seven US dollar, but you have 10 contracts, right? So if you times it 10, so your profit will be $70 US dollar, right? Yeah, as explained by Jack earlier, when you put in money to your CFD account, you can actually put in, let's say, Sing dollar or US dollar, whatever currency that you feel comfortable with. And later on, I will show you what sort of currency that we accept, right? Let's say you put in a Sing dollar, no worries. When you trade on Dow Jones, even though it's settled in US dollar, but we do not actually use your Sing dollar for settlement, because in CFD, there's no settlement. We only lock away equivalent amount of Sing dollar into the initial margin. And when you close the position, the P&L will be reflected in US dollar, right? And it will stay in your cash balance. Okay. And also, this is the example of long position with loss, right? I can actually show you where to find this example. It's actually quite easy. You just go to our CFD website. So this is our CFD website where you log into your platform. You go to our product, go to cash index, right? And then you scroll down. So on this page, we have the information for each of the cash index, right? You can check the trading hours, the initial margin required for each of these cash index, right? And also the financing, how many financing days, which later I'll show you how to calculate the financing. Yep, things like that, right? So the example that I've shown you just now, you can actually find it through here by clicking this. Okay. Okay, so next, yep, as I mentioned, I will show you how to calculate financing. Okay, even though cash index, we do not charge commission, but if you hold the position overnight, you need to pay financing. Okay, financing, how to calculate? Basically, say you buy 20 quantity, 20 units. Let's say at the end of trading hours, the price closed at 5,510. You calculate the value, right? So the close value is actually 110,000 Aussie dollar. Okay, so for financing, it's actually based on base rate plus financing rate. Base rate, say, is 1.75. You have to plus with 3.75, which is the financing rate if you're long, right? If you're short, you have to minus. Okay, and then this is the number of year days, 365. So by doing the math here, right, you can actually get a financing amount for a day, right? In this case, is $16.60 Aussie dollar. Okay, and also if you trade cash index, you'll be entitled for dividend. Say, you know, index is actually a basket of shares, right? So in that basket of shares, some of these counter might issue dividends. So that will be consolidated and will be given to you as well to make it fair, right? So yeah, so you will receive dividend as well. But if you short cash index, bear in mind you have to pay any dividend issued. Okay. So I think that's about it for cash index. Before I go into the platform, if you guys have any issue, please feel free to post on the Q&A sections. Right. Okay. Okay.
Okay, June,
So,
before you go in, maybe you can share our commission and financing schedule.
yeah, okay, sure. So thanks, Jack. So where to find the com and financing details? Okay. It's actually on our website. Okay. You go to CFD and you can see commission and financing rates down here. Click on it. And yep, here you go. Right. Okay. So we have all the commission informations here, as well as financing. So for Singapore market, even though here is 0.25, but now we are having a 0.07% promotion. As long as you open an account with us and then you trade Singapore, we only charge you 0.07%, minimum $15, right? So any questions so far? You can actually post it in the Q&A and we'll answer to your question. Oh, sorry, I forgot to turn on my camera. 1 second, yeah. All right. Okay. So if no further question, we'll go into the platform. So Jack, can you see my screen?
Yep, I can.
Okay. So what you're seeing on now, what you're seeing on your screen now is actually our Viewpoint platform, right? It's a platform where you trade CFD. Viewpoint is a comprehensive CFD trading platform. It is very configurable platform that allow you to customize the platform by placing widgets. All right, this is what we call widgets, right? Where you want them, but however, by default, it will display 3 important widgets, as you can see now here. These 3 widgets are a watch list on the top left, and order pads on the top right, and a portfolio at the bottoms. Okay, so normally when you trade, right, you want to have the watch list where you can actually put all the counters that you would like to monitor, the instrument that you would like to monitor, and if you feel good about it and you think that it's time for you to open the position, you can actually initiate your position here, right? And then you can actually place your order through the order tickets here. Okay, later I will show you one by one. And once you place your order will be reflected in the order pads. This is where you check your order status. And once done, your order will be reflected in portfolio. All right, that's where you monitor your portfolio. Okay. And to be honest, when it comes to CFD tradings, which clearly has a larger risk and is significantly more advanced than traditional cash trading, I believe that adopting our Viewpoint platform, which is this desktop version of the platform, will greatly enhance your trading experience. On the other hand, we also have a mobile apps. We do offer mobile apps. However, that is a more simplified version of the platform that does an excellent job of keeping track of your trading portfolio and allowing you to execute simple orders, right? So yeah, without further ado, I will roughly briefly demonstrate to you on what our platform is capable of, right? So basically, this is the watch list. You can actually customize the column, right, as you wish. As you can see, there are lots of hidden column and visible column, fixed column. You can actually play around with it. You can actually put in whatever you want to see on the column here. And for example, okay, so this is a S&P 500 list. For example, I would like to have Dow Jones counters, right? So when I type in Dow Jones / Dow Jones, it will give me a list of Dow Jones counters. And if I like it, I can actually save my watch list. Okay, I can actually name it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, and then later on I can load it back. All right, it will auto save. And say if you think, okay, if you want to initiate a position, you can actually click on this inline button, right? Say you want to buy, and yep, So as explained earlier, for CFD, you have to look at the initial margin. So if let's say this counter offer 10% for initial margin, that means you can actually trade up to 10 times for this counter, right? For example, you want to buy 10 share of IBM. As you can see, let's say I put in 100. As you can see, the total value is 14,244 US dollar, but the initial margin required is only 1,424 US dollar, right? So that means you can actually have as high as 10 times leverage on this counter, but it's totally up to you on how much exposure that you want. If you think 10 is, 14,000 exposure is too high, you can actually adjust it according to your own needs, right? Yeah, things like that. And our platform also capable of for you to place a condition order, meaning if you do not have time to monitor your orders or position, you can actually pre-submit to our platform by telling the condition, right? Say you want to buy when the price went up to, let's say, 150. Say that's the breakout point. You can actually set into the system, right? You can tell the system you want to buy when it break out at 150 and put in your order, right? I shall demonstrate to you on how this works. Say I put in a market order. Once triggered 150, put in a buy order, market order for me, and I'll submit. As you can see here, it's created. And if you want to see more details, you can actually expand the panels, right? Okay. So other than that, you can also put in a cut loss order, take profit or cut loss order. Okay, say you want to open an Apple shares, right? For example, you want to buy also 100 shares of Apple, right? And you want to protect against losses. Say if let's say this counter drop below 120, I would like to cut loss. Okay. And if Apple went up more than say 180, I would like to take profit. Okay, you can do that. So this is what we call if done OCO, meaning if your first level of order done, and if you activate your second level, which is the cut loss and take profit. Okay, this cut loss and take profit, we call it OCO. One cancel another, meaning either of one leg triggers, right? And it fail, the another leg will auto cancel, right? Makes sense, because or else you will have duplicate orders. So let me finish let me finish this order first. Okay, so you can actually check the details on the trading information before you click the button, right? So once I place it, you can actually see that I have a buy order here, and the second level is to stop loss, to protect against losses and take profit. Okay, creation failed because this is a demo environment. Of course, we can't go through the demo environments, right? So earlier I also talked about CFD Index. So let me show you where to find a list of tradable CFD indices. You can actually type in /CFD Index on your watch list panel here. Then you click OK, click it. So here you go. You have a list of tradable CFD indices, right? So say tonight you think that S&P will go up, you can actually initiate a position by clicking this button, press buy. Okay, same process. As you can see, for S&P 500 index, the initial margin is only 5%. say if I would like to open 10 contracts, 10 units with a value of 44,487, the initial margin required is only 2,224, which is very less, right? As compared, you do not have to fork out 100% in order to own that kind of exposure. And same thing as well, you can put in your cut loss, take profit, and if you think that the price is not right now, you want to buy for you when you break out, you can actually use this contingency strategy function on our platform, right? Okay. So next, we'll go to the portfolio. Portfolio is where you monitor your position after you have done your order, right? One is matched, then you can actually see your position in portfolio panels. So there are many information shown in your portfolio panels, right? One of the things to take note is the free equity. Free equity is basically like Jack explained earlier, when you fund your account in your CFD, right? The fund will actually act like a deposit that you put into the account. And whenever you initiate a position, we will actually only deduct initial margin required. Let's say it's a 10%, we only deduct away that amount away from your free equity, okay? And it will be locked under the initial margin. So as you can see, earlier when I placed IBM counter, so it took away my 927 and lock it in as an initial margin, right? And it's an indication, basically, in short, is an indication on how much collateral you have in your CFD account. And you look at it to tell how much position you could open, right? More to tell you the current margin level. If it is negative, that means you're on margin call. And if that's happened, normally you'll be given, up to 2 days to regularize your position. And also to tell you how much you could withdraw from your CFD account. If you still have open position, you have to maintain at least 2,000 Sing dollar or equivalent, right? One more thing to take note is it serves as a buffer for your open position. The more buffer you have in your free equity, the less likely you will get hit by margin call when the market goes against your position, right? Next is the initial margin. In short, in simple language, initial margin is a deposit locked from your free equity when you open a position, be it a short position or a long position. You can find out how much would it be locked or deducted when you open a position by looking at the initial margin percentage, the one that I showed you guys earlier. Right. For instance, if you're looking to buy 5,000 Sing dollar worth of DBS that has initial margin of 10%, only 500 Sing dollar will be deducted away from your free equity and lock it into the initial margin. Right. When you close the position, the initial margin amount will be released back to you, to your free equity. One of the things that you have to take note is the GLV. The GLV here. GLV stands for gross liquidation value. In short, it means your current net worth in a CFD account. Means if you sell all your position, this would be the amount that you will get back at the end of the day, exclude commission, financing, and FX rate differ. GLV is definitely useful by helping you to keep track of your investment return, right? Sometimes it can be very confusing, especially when you are trading in CFD using leverage, right? You do not know your exact money in your CFD account, since the amount you are seeing is not exactly 100% yours, right? Okay. So other than that, our platform also offer you different sort of features. We call it widgets, right? You can actually further explore. Once you have the account, you can actually go to the chart. If you would like to play with the chart, we have the chart widget as well. And also you can actually customize your widgets, right? For example, if let's say today I want to trade CFD index, right? I would like to set up my own templates. I could do that. Say I would like to split this screen, right? I can actually split the screen and I can put in chart here. Okay. And also I can put in a quick trade function, which allow you to execute your trades in split second. Let me pull that out. Okay, so if you can't see information here, right, you can actually drag bigger a bit so that you can actually expand the panels. Okay, you can actually color code all these panels so that it will work in sync. Okay, later I will show you how it works. Okay, you can color code it to green color, for example. So say today you look at S&P 500, right? Okay, 1 second. Yeah. Okay. I need to click on the codes, right, in order for me to synchronize all the widgets. Okay. So for example, if I would like to place S&P 500s, I just double click here. As you can see, the quick trade will auto synchronize to the instrument that I've double clicked just now. And the chart will also auto synchronize as well. All right, I can put it as low as 1 minute to see the movement. Right, and I also can put a quantity here. If I think the price is right now, I can actually click on this green button to buy, and my order will straight away done. You see, so if I think that's the time to close my position, I just click the red button 1 time, and as you can see, let me expand this. As you can see, this position will be quickly closed, and I've made 0.45 US dollar loss in a split second, right? So as easy as that, just to let you know that it is a highly customizable platform, right? So any question from you guys so far? All right, so yeah, I think we got a first question here. What is the con for investing in CFD other than the unlimited losses due to leveraging? All right. The con, okay, how to put it? Because for CFD, it's not a product, right? Basically, it is up to you on how you want to control your CFD trades, right? Even though it offers you high leverage, but that doesn't mean that you have to over leverage your position. It's more like a tool than the product itself, right? To put it in the analogy, right? If you trade on the traditional cash trading account, you can only buy up to the amount that you put into your trading account, and even though you have like trading limit to buy more than the amount that you put in, but you have to top up within T+3. This is traditional cash trading account. But for CFD, we are very flexible. It's really up to you how to leverage your position, and we do not have settlement day, meaning if you buy more than the amount that you put in, as long you maintain the required buffer in your free equity, we won't actually force sell your position. Therefore, you won't be hurt by over leveraging, right? So it's more like if you trade CFD, you have to be mindful that sometimes the leverage, the over leveraging could hurt you instead. Okay, hope that answer your question.
Yeah, I don't think there's, in a way, it's not a con, basically. It's depending on your risk appetite for different investors or traders. Yes, because when you trade in a CFD, there's leverage involved, right? So if, for that question, right, I also don't think that it's unlimited losses to due to leveraging. You still have a benchmark there, which is your free equity, which is when you fall below zero, you have this thing called margin call. Okay.
It's more like a tool actually. It's like a gun. If you compare CFD with traditional cash trading account, it's more like a gun and a knife. Even though gun is dangerous, but if you know how to operate it correctly, it could be very useful for you as well. Yeah. Even though if sometimes it could hurt you, it's a double-edged sword, right? So that's why you have to understand the nature of these tools before you use it. That's the reason why we are here today. Okay, so any questions so far from you guys? Meanwhile, while waiting for your questions, if you have any, let me share with you our promotion. Okay, so currently we are running the lowest commissions for Singapore markets, right? You only need to pay 0.07% or if you trade on Singapore market, which is the lowest com right now for CFD. And also we have this driven campaign, right? If you trade with CFD, all your trades will be entitled entries, right? I think each of the buy position will gain you an entries to win a Tesla, right? It's not a Tesla stock, it's a real car, right? And so basically it's a lucky draw things lah. So the more you trade, the more entries you have, and at the end of the year, they will actually do a lucky draw. Yep, and you might stand a chance to win a real Tesla car. Okay. So, any questions so far? Jack, anything that you would like to add to the audiences?
Nothing much actually. I think you can share more on our website as well for those who have interested in to open an CFD account with us.
Yep. So if you're interested to open an account with us, you can actually go to our website, right? By clicking opening account here. Okay. And you click on online application. Click on here. Yep, you can actually fill out your details, and you can actually sign up a CFD account through this page. And also, Jack will share you guys our contact details
later on, right? So Joon, maybe you can elaborate more on our CFD product, which just now they mentioned about the cons, right? Because CFD, you are entitled to dividends and much etc. But you do not have voting rights. So that might be a con as well.
Yeah, I think for CFD, basically, if you trade equities, right, through CFD, it's exactly like how you trade equities on your normal cash trading account, except for CFD, you do not have the ownership on it. Therefore, you do not have votings, right? But for other corporate action, such as dividend, right issue, bonus issue, all these, you'll be entitled, right? You are entitled for all the corporate action except votings, right? So to say you actually have you receive dividend through CFD. Yep. So it's basically exactly the same, except you have the flexibility to go leverage, higher leverage, and also the flexibility to short the counter. All right. If you compare with the traditional cash trading account, you have to borrow the shares physically before you could short the counter. Meanwhile, in CFD, you do not have to borrow any shares as long as we load it into our CFD platform, right? You can actually see it through here. When you click on this, right, the trading information will tell you whether this counter is it shortable. Yes. So from here you can tell, yeah, you're allowed to short sell for this counter. Okay. Yep. If you can't think of any question right now, it's fine. We are here. I mean, we are always in our office. Later on, Jack will share with you guys our contact details. You can always email us, call us, if anything that you want us to clarify. And also feel free to join our future webinars, right? We have a few webinars every month. The next one would be it's a market top, right? It's more on the US market top. The title is long-term fundamental versus short-term fundamentals. Next week, Tuesday, 7 to 8:30 p.m. All right. You can find out more from our website. This is our website, cfd.cgs-cimb.com.sg. Okay. So these are contact details.
Yep. All right.
Okay. So that's about it.
Yeah.
That's about it. If Jack, you have nothing to add on, then I think, yeah, we call it a day.
Yes, information is on this slide itself, so you can feel free to visit our website or give us a call or even email us if you have any inquiries on CFD. All right, so I guess it should be the end of this webinar for tonight.
Yep. So, thanks for joining in. Have a good night.
All right. Okay, Ken. All right. Thank you, everyone. Good night. Stay safe.